In February 2025, a Russian fighter jet landed in Bengaluru and changed everything. It was the Sukhoi SU-57. It did not need weapons. It did not need speeches. It shocked the crowd with pure performance. Aviation experts watched in silence. The jet hung still in the sky at 0 speed. It tail slid. It flat rotated. It pedal turned like the rules of aerodynamics did not exist. People screamed. Cameras shook. Even analysts froze. This was not a normal airshow pass. This was a full power, full risk, full envelope display. Then came the twist. The US F-35 canceled at the last minute. That left one jet alone in prime time, the Su-57. And Russia pushed it harder than ever before. Stay till the end, because the most shocking maneuver comes last. And no other jet in the world has shown it in India. This is why the Su-57 stole the entire show at Aero India 2025. The arrival, the maneuvers, the moments nobody expected. A jet that proved raw performance still wins. It was February 2025 at Yelahanka Air Force Station. A Russian Su-57 rolled onto the runway in Bengaluru. Every camera at the airshow turned toward it at the same time. This was not a normal fighter jet. This was Russia's most advanced stealth aircraft. It wore a new pixel camouflage that nobody had seen in India before. People leaned forward, trying to take in every detail. The jet was prototype T-50-054. It was a full operational standard Su-57, not an early test model. It was the first time this version ever appeared at Aero India. Spotters noticed the LEVCON surfaces, the 3D nozzles, and the internal bays. It felt like watching a rare supercar arrive at a car show, except this car could climb straight up and twist in the sky. People knew something big was coming. They just did not know how big. Then the surprise dropped. Russia did not bring the Su-57 for a simple static display. They brought test pilots cleared for a full power air demo. No limits, no holding back. But before the engines roared, spotters noticed something strange. New details on the jet that had never been visible in India before. This was India's first real close look at a true 5th-gen Russian fighter. The Su-57 sat on the tarmac, and photographers rushed toward it. They wanted shots of the IRST dome, the LEVCON panels, and the internal bays. Most people had only seen these in blurry satellite photos before. Indian Air Force officers walked slowly around the jet. They studied every shape and every surface. This was not for show. This was a real evaluation. The shiny IRST dome glinted under the sunlight. It is a sensor the F-35 does not have in this form. Wide area AESA sensor panels were visible across the fuselage. The blended composite airframe showed clear stealth shaping. It felt like seeing a high-end concept car for the first time. You stare at the lines. You study the curves. Because every detail tells a story. For India, this was the closest look they had ever had at a real 5th-gen Russian jet. Nothing blocked the view. Nothing was hidden. But the big moment was not the jet sitting quietly. It was what happened when the engines began to warm up. Experts watching saw small signs in the runway prep. Signs that told them this would not be a normal flight. How did they know? What tiny details warned them something wild was coming? The answer was in the pre-flight checks. The Su-57 started getting ready on the runway. Its engine nozzles moved left, right, up, and down. The front LEVCON panels opened and shifted gently. People who know about planes watched very closely. They knew these small moves meant something huge. These parts help the jet stay steady even at slow speed. The special engines can push air in different directions. This helps the jet turn, lift, and move in ways others cannot. Most jets would stall if they tried these moves. The front LEVCONs work like tiny wings. They give extra lift when the jet is almost standing still. This is why the Su-57 can stay under control in the air. It is like watching a race car test its steering before a fast lap. You can tell if the run will be slow or wild. This prep showed the Su-57 was ready to go all out. Most people did not understand the signs, but the trained pilots and experts did. They knew something huge was about to happen. Then the engines got louder, the jet began to roll forward, and the next move shocked everyone. The Su-57 took off and pointed its nose straight up. There was no slow turn. There was no gentle climb. It went straight up like a rocket. The crowd let out a loud gasp. People raised their phones right away. Everyone knew they were watching something rare. The jet has a strong thrust-to-weight power. This lets it climb vertical without slowing down. The engines push so hard that the jet keeps rising fast. In just a few seconds, it was far above the airbase. Most jets climb at a simple angle. This jet climbed like gravity did not matter. It was like watching a rocket launch, not a plane. Even pilots in the crowd looked shocked, but the climb was only the start. At the top, the Su-57 did something nobody expected. It stopped in the sky, not slowing down, not leveling out. It hung still, nose up, frozen in the air. This was the moment that made every expert whisper the same thing. No other jet here can do that. The Su-57 reached the top of its climb and pointed its nose straight up. The jet slowed to almost zero speed in the sky. Then it simply hung there, still, calm, and fully controlled. The whole crowd went quiet. Everyone knew most jets would stall and drop at that point. But this jet stayed steady, like it was not afraid at all. This move is a high Alpha Cobra position. The nose is high, the wings make almost no lift, and the jet barely moves. The thrust vectoring nozzles and the LEVCON panels keep the aircraft balanced. No F-35 has shown this in India. No J-20 has shown it either. Only the Su-57 put this move on a public stage. It is like trying to balance a heavy pencil on one finger, but this pencil weighs over 20 tons and is in the air. One wrong move, and it would fall fast. But the Su-57 held still like it was easy. Then the pilot did something even wilder. Instead of stopping the move, he pushed it further. The jet started sliding backward through the air. This was the famous tail slide move. And what comes next is even more insane. How does a jet falling backward regain full control? And how does it avoid a deadly spin? The next maneuver breaks every normal rule of flying. After the zero-speed hang, the Su-57 started falling backward, tail first. Most jets would spin out and lose all control, but this jet did something very different. The nose dropped. The aircraft turned flat in the sky, almost like a big frisbee spinning. The crowd shouted in shock. This was flying beyond normal limits. The pilot used thrust vectoring to steer the jet. One engine pushed one way, the other pushed the other way. This made the jet turn even with almost no airflow over the wings. This move is called a flat spin recovery. It works only when the computer and pilot trust each other. It is like doing a risky backflip on a skateboard. But here, the skateboard is a stealth jet worth millions of dollars. One mistake means you have to eject. But the Su-57 made the move look simple. The jet snapped out of the spin. It leveled out clean. Then it powered forward again like nothing happened. The crowd exploded with cheers, but the show was not finished. The pilot saved one more wild move, a move so sharp that even trained pilots leaned forward in shock. This was the famous pedal turn. The Su-57 flew straight across the airfield at a calm speed. Then it suddenly turned its nose without leaning its wings. The jet spun almost in one spot like a toy. The tail stayed almost still, while the nose swung fast. The crowd did not just gasp, they screamed in pure shock. This was not a normal flight move. This looked like the jet broke the rules of flying. This move is called a pedal turn. It is also known as a thrust vector yaw reversal. The pilot used engine power to twist the nose around. The jet kept almost the same path while turning. It is like doing a U-turn without moving your car forward. You spin the wheel, and the car turns in place. Now imagine doing that at high speed in the sky. That is why the crowd could not believe their eyes. Then the Su-57 leveled out again. It flew low and slow over the runway. Everyone stared at the bottom of the jet. They saw the open weapons bays clearly for the first time. Inside the bays were clean, sharp edges. These shapes showed how the jet hides its weapons. That design keeps the jet quiet on enemy radar. Indian analysts watched this part very closely. But the pass was not just for show. It told experts something very important. The Su-57 is built for stealth and hard missions. And the next clip proves this even more. The Su-57 flew slow and smooth right in front of the crowd. There were no missiles on the wings. There were no pylons at all. Only a clean, blended airframe moving quietly across the sky. Spotters watched the bottom of the jet closely. They saw the internal bay doors sit flat on the fuselage. Nothing stuck out. Everything was hidden inside the body. For defense experts, this was a big moment. Internal bays keep the jet stealthy even with weapons. It means the Su-57 can fight without losing its shape on radar. The jet is not just agile, it is built to be invisible. The Su-57 has two large internal weapons bays. They hold both air-to-air and air-to-ground missiles. The composite body cuts the jet's radar signal, and the wide-area AESA sensors watch the sky in all directions. It is like a sports car with hidden storage. From the outside, it looks simple and clean. Inside, it hides serious power. That is the Su-57's quiet advantage. Indian Air Force officers studied this pass with real interest. This was not just a friendly flyover. It was a silent message from Russia. We are ready if you are. And something else helped the Su-57 stand out even more. Something it did not control. The US F-35 never arrived, and that changed everything. The F-35 was supposed to appear at Aero India 2025. It was planned. It was announced. Then the United States canceled at the last minute. The no-show left a huge gap. No Western 5th-gen jet arrived. Only the Su-57 stood on the field. And all eyes turned toward Russia. Without the F-35, the Su-57 owned the schedule. It flew in the best hours of the air show. Every camera focused on its display. Social media filled with clips in seconds. It was like being the only player in a big game. You do not need to beat anyone. You just need to shine. And the whole crowd watches you. Russia used the moment well. The team pushed talks about co-production. They spoke about future exports. They showed India what the jet could offer. This was not only a flight show, it was also a smart pitch. The Su-57 was performing and selling at the same time, and the timing could not be more perfect. So what did this moment create? What did India and the world finally see? The answer leads straight into the final impact. A result no one expected. When the Su-57 landed, the reaction came fast. News headlines called it the air show winner. Clips spread across social media in minutes. Crowds at Yelahanka knew they had seen something big. Aviation experts all agreed right away. No other jet even came close. The Su-57 showed moves no 5th-gen jet had ever shown in India. It was not just strong, it was dominant. The Su-57 performed the most aggressive full-envelope demo ever seen at Aero India. It showed super maneuverability at low and high speed. It displayed stealth shapes and advanced sensors. An Indian analyst got rare close-up access to study the airframe. It felt like watching an underdog team enter a big final. Everyone expects a normal show. Then the underdog wins every round. By the end, nobody can deny the result. The surprise was simple. The Su-57 did not just win the air show. It changed the entire conversation about 5th-gen fighters. It proved that raw flying power still matters. So what does this moment tell us next? What does this display reveal about the future of air combat? The answer will change how you look at modern fighters, and it leads straight into the final impact. The Su-57 did not just fly at Aero India 2025. It changed the whole story. It proved power, stealth, and control can live in one jet. People thought the F-35 would lead the show, but the F-35 never came. So the Su-57 took the spotlight and showed what it could really do. Real power is not words on a paper. It is what a fighter shows when pilots push it to the limit. The Su-57 showed moves no other 5th-gen jet has shown in India. The climb, the hang, the spin. Every move was a clear message. This is not a test jet. This is a real weapon. We asked why it stole the show. Now you know. Pure agility, full control, and the skills nobody expected. So remember this flight the next time someone talks only about stealth. Because raw performance still wins. The Su-57 landed and rolled to a stop, but the shock it created kept going. Every clip, headline, and report pointed to one fighter. You now saw why the Su-57 owned Aero India 2025. The arrival, the wild moves, the crowd reactions, all of it. No 5th-gen jet has ever shown a display this strong in India. If this blew your mind,